Welcome learners, I have made this video where we will learn the spreadsheet, how to use the spreadsheet. So let us see. So in this video, what we are going to learn is a snapshot like basic arithmetic functions, basic text functions, formatting rules, generating random numbers, AND/OR function, if function, VLOOKUP function, HLOOKUP function, and then at the end we will be having the two projects, where we will be using some of these above functions and developing our project. So at first let us see how to use the basic arithmetic functions. It is summation, subtraction, and then multiplication, division, remainder function, summation, average, etc. I made a spreadsheet. Let us click here. First let us see the summation function, how we are going to sum these values. So basically to sum, whether we can use it simply like this, is equal to, suppose we want to sum the values 8, 13, 6 and 2. We can do like this, 8 and plus, then the cell C3, let us see here, you can see, or here you can see, first one is the 8 is in the C2, right? So C2 plus, and then C3. Why? Because then 13 is then in the C3, and then we'll be having C4 plus C5. Okay, so the summation value will be the 29. Fine. Similarly, when we want to sum these values, we can simply copy paste the formulas, like here control copy and then here paste. It will sum these values. Alternatively, what we can use, instead of using the individual summation, we can do it simply like this. It's equal to S sum these values and it will sum them. Similarly, we can do like this, copy and then paste. So as you can see in both the results, the numbers are coming the same. In the initial it was 29, here also 29. So this is a basic function sum. Basically it will be very useful when the data is very long. Okay, so now we have seen the summation function. Now let us see the difference function or the subtraction. Subtraction is generally mainly between the two numbers. Let us see these two. Okay, so we'll change the formula. We are going to subtract, like we need to subtract 13 from the 8, then 8 minus 13, it will give minus 5. Let us see, yeah, and then similarly we will copy paste from here and then here. 9 minus 12 is 13. If you change the value over here, like say 15, it should give the result minus 6 over here. If you are changing the value over here 16, it will give 1. Similarly, if you are changing it here 13, it will give here 13 minus 13, 0. So now we have learned these two functions, summation and subtraction. Now the next function is the multiplication. Let us see how we are going to multiplication. Basically you don't need to write the subtraction. This is only for demonstrating. Let us delete it. Suppose we need to multiply these two numbers. What we are going to do? The numbers will be same, C2 and C3. Instead of minus, you just change it to into. Multiplication, that is by star. And then this will give the result. And similarly, you can just copy and paste over here. It will give 13 into 13, 169, 16 into 15 is 240. Suppose you change the number here like 2. What will be 16 into 2? That is 32. Okay. So the multiplication also we have learned. Now let us see, go to the next, that is the division. Then for division, here is the star mark, just put it at division sign, it is divided by, and will give the result. Similarly here, just need to copy paste. If there are many things, there are many range of data, you can just copy paste here. So this is giving the division result. Okay, let us see what is the next. The remainder function. This is a very interesting function where you need to find the remainder what will be the remainder after divided by a number. So here 13, let us say 13 is divided by 13, what will be the remainder? So for that we have a function is equal to mod, and the first number and the second number will be divided with the divisor. Okay, so here what will be the remainder? Any cases? Let's see, 0. Here also 0. Let us say you change it to like 13 divided by 5. 13 divided by 5. What will be the remainder? It should be 3. Let us see. Yes, it is coming 3. This value. Let us change it to like 5. What will be the remainder? 1. If there are very complex numbers, big numbers, 2, 7, 8, 7, something like that, like say 143. So here also the remainder you are getting 31. Instead of going for the calculator, you can use this function using the spreadsheets. So you can see how easy it makes the spreadsheets for doing a complex calculation. Then summation we have already seen is equal to like s sum 13 5 will give 18. Just copy paste. Okay, then we have the average function. In the average first we have to select the range, and then instead of sum you will write the average. Let us take more data, something like 89, then 51, like 15, any numbers. Now I want to plot the average of these numbers. Let us see how we can plot, how we can know the average. It's equal to average, and then select the range 92. See if change the 40. If we change the number, this is coming in the decimal. If you want to change the decimal places, we can do it by here. This one, it will decrease the decimal places. Okay, so it is like 0 decimal places. If we want to increase the decimal places, again we can use this sign. So basically we have learned these basic arithmetic functions. This can be used in number of numerical examples. Now let us go back to the slide and see what is the next. So this is the basic arithmetic functions where we have learned the summation, subtraction, multiplication, division, remainder function, summation, average. Let's see, go to the next slide. Okay. So now we are having the basic text function. Let us see. So we are having here the basic text function, that is left, right, mid, joining two or more texts. So what is all this about left, right, mid? Suppose we are having some number like 1, 2, 3, 4.567. What this function will do is equal to left, and then this cell, let us write 1. Basically this will return the value, the leftmost first digit. If I change it to 2, it will represent the leftmost 2 digits. Let us see what is the result coming. 12. You can see. And if I write over here 3, let us see. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let us change it to 5, 4, 5, something like 4578.12. So you can see the leftmost 3, left D2, and then the leftmost 3 digits. Right here 45.7812, 45 point. Let us check whether this represents number or not. So it can be checked if suppose I multiply this number with some value, whether it's returning the value or not. Right here 2 equal to this one multiplied by this number 90. Okay, so this is representing number as well. right here 4, the number is changing. Okay, fine. If I change this thing to some text, let us see what the what we will be having the result over here. Text. Okay, so basically what it is representing, leftmost the 4 digits. 4 digits are the text. Leftmost 1 digit, it will represent T. Leftmost 2 digits, TE. If I change it to like Delhi, 4, the leftmost 4 digits. So here you can see it is coming value because the text cannot be multiplied by a number. What is this function right and mid? Let us say instead of left, let us say right over here. So it will represent the rightmost 4 digits, rightmost 2 digits, D to 2, that is the HI. It will represent HI. Okay, and then what is this mid? Let us say mid. Mid, it represents expected 3 arguments, but got 2 arguments only. What is this one? 2, 2. So okay, so we can find here what is mid. There is a middle one, and from the left side it will take the second character, and then from the second character it will represent the 2 characters. So if we write here 3, so it should represent ELH. Okay, and if I write over here like 3, then it should represent LHI. There is first name and last name given in a data. How we are going to join these? Okay, so I have one spreadsheet where I have a sample names. Let us see. In this video we will learn how to combine the 2 strings Aston Warren. So basically we have one formula in the spreadsheets, and that is called concatenate. Let's see, concatenate, and then concatenate D3 comma E3, and then within the bracket close. Let us see what it represents. Aston Warren. But the thing is that it does not represent a space between these 2 strings. So how we can introduce the space? Again here we'll go, and then we'll introduce this 1 character, and the second character we'll introduce one more character in between these 2, and then that will be this space bar, and then close, comma. Okay. So basically we have introduced the space by just putting this space in between these 2 strings. Now since we have written one formula, we can simply this formula copy, and then over the entire range paste it by using it Ctrl V, or from here paste. So basically this formula combines these 2 texts. So we have learned here how to join 2 or more texts. Let us come to the next slide. And then the next slide we will be having the conditional formatting. Let us see what is this conditional formatting. And then in the next slide we will be using the random functions, and then using random function to populate marksheet data, and using conditional formatting in this marksheet data. Let us first learn the random function, and the random function to populate marksheet data, and then in this marksheet data we will use the conditional formatting. So let us move here. Okay, Okay. So we have the 15 names over here, and suppose we are having the one subject for these are the students, and we will be having one subject for them. Let us say history. We can take many more examples. Let us say take just only one subject over here for our purpose. Suppose the most of the students are getting marks in history between like 0 to 100. There is possibility of getting between 0 to 100. This function rand between, it will represent random integer between two values. So rand between 0 to 100. Let us see what it represents. Okay, so fine. This one represents 15. So once written this formula, simply copy paste it. Okay. So we have just populated the data of whereby we are having the marks of these students in history. These are fictional marks because I have just generated these numbers. Okay. So I'll populate one more, two more subjects. Let us say geography, and then the mathematics. So as we have generated here, we'll just copy the formulas and the paste in this one, and this will generate. So now we have populated the mark sheets, but the thing is that this is since the formula is random between, that's rand between, it will keep the changing values as many times we'll write something like 1 2. It changes the value. Just now let us make it fixed. So how we can fix it? Like we have copied it, and then we will just paste the values, not paste, because if we paste here it will paste the formula. So we need to paste the values. So we'll go to paste special and then paste values. So see where the formula has gone. So it will not change the values now. Is it changing? It's not. So just now we have populated the marks of our students in 3 subjects. Now my friends, we will learn the conditional formatting now. Okay. So let us see what will be the, we need to first decide the rule how we are going to format. So one of the rules maybe the teacher wants to know how many students have failed, or maybe how many students have excelled, and the remaining students, say suppose in the middle, suppose the teacher wants to know how many students have obtained greater than say distinction, that is 75 marks. Okay, then the teacher wants to know how many students have obtained less than 30. Okay, fine. So basically we are having only these two rules as of now. So we'll go over here, and the teacher wants to show above 75 as like say suppose green, less than 30 like say the red. Okay, so we have this rule whereby the marks greater than 75 shall be displayed by the green cells, less than 30 will be displayed by the red cells. So let us go to this box now, this range. We have selected this range, and now we'll click on the conditional formatting, right click, and then we are having here our conditional formatting. Go to the conditional formatting. Now see, the first thing it asks is apply to range. The range is E5 to G19. Fine. And then there are the inbuilt rules over here. It is saying format cells if greater than, less than. Basically we are seeing only we are having the two rules, greater than 75, less than 30. So we can at once use this formula, greater than. What is that? Greater than 75. Do what? Just paint the background color as green, and this one shall be the black itself. Then we are having the done. Okay, fine. So whatever values greater than 75 are represented with the green cells. We need to add one more rule to represent the red cells for marks less than 30. So we'll go to add another rule and then select rules. Which one? Less than 35. What should it do? It should paint the background color with red. Fine. And done. So basically you have seen we have made two rules. Value is greater than 75, value is less than 35, and it's representing in this form. Suppose the teacher wants another formatting, like simply change the font color, don't change the background color. How we are going to make it? Like the teacher wants this one to be the white only, but this number like greater than 75, suppose 85, and this one less than 30, it is 20. This be represented by the font cell green, which is very light. I don't think any teacher will like that. And then less than 30, let us represent it with some green. Okay, fine. So how we are going to change the formatting rules? Basically we are already having the formatting rules over here. We'll select the cells and then these boxes will appear. We'll go to this box and just change the formatting style. We'll change the background color to white and this text color to this green box. Okay, fine, and done. See, similarly for this one, we'll change the background color to white and then the font color to the red, and then done. So basically we have seen, and wherever the student is getting more than 75, the marks are represented in green font. Wherever the students are getting less than 30, marks are represented in red. So this is something about conditional formatting. We can apply many more rules from over here. This inbuilt rules are the rules which you consider for yourself. Okay, so in this function we have learned, in this sheet we have learned the random function to populate the data, then using conditional formatting. Fine, let us go back to the slide. Now we are having the next slide, that's and or if function. Let us see how we can use the and or if function. These are the logical functions. And we want to use the and or if function in this, just for example. And let us remove the formatting rules so that we have learned it already, and it will be better if we can see it in black color. Conditional formatting, we'll simply delete it. We can delete it by like over here deletion button is there on my right, which is not visible in the screen. So I have deleted this thing. So we'll be using the if function. So let us learn how to use the if function. Suppose the teacher wants to know which students have obtained marks greater than some value, say greater than 75 in one of the subjects, say history. So here I will write the criteria greater than marks 75 in history. Then this formula should represent the name of a students in this column wherever they are obtaining greater than 75. So let us write one of the formulas, the if formula. The if formula is in this range. I will show if formula is in this range. If criteria and then the value 1 and then the value 2, it is in this format. Then what is this thing? Criteria, the criteria which we have chosen, and then the value 1. The value 1 will be represented when this criteria will be true, and the value 2 will be displayed when this criteria will be false. Fine. So let us write the formula equal to if. What is the criteria? If the marks obtained by the student, in this case this marks, is greater than 75, then it should display the name of the student which is in this cell D5. And if this criteria is not true, that means this criteria is false, what should it display? It should display nothing. So just write here empty and then enter. Fine. So we have just written one formula. Simply copy it and then paste it over the range. It's displays. Fine. So here we have seen is the students have obtained marks greater than 75 in history. Let us see Maria Kumari greater than 75, right? This one Amber Davis greater than 75, right? Brad Davis greater than 75, greater than 75, and the all other students who have obtained less than 75. Fine. Okay. So now the teacher wants that every time, suppose the teacher wants to know greater than say 60 marks. How many students have obtained greater than 60 marks? So one of those process will be like go and change the formula greater than, instead of 75 right here 60, and then what we have greater than 60, and then we have changed the formula over here. If 5 is greater than 60, this one is greater than 60, then represent the name of the student, or else write empty. So here we have the formula. You can just copy it and then paste it using Ctrl V. So here we have obtained some more names where the students have obtained greater than 60, like this one Henry Stevens, Maximilian Henderson, and then this one Adela Stevens, and then Brad Davis, all these students. Now the teacher wants to simply put a number and know how many students have obtained. The other way of using this formula could be something like this. Just see how we can develop the smart programming, some of the smart programming. So basically here the teacher will input the number. Let us represent it in yellow cells meant for representing the number, and this will represent equal to like this value, this value. So like here 60. So in every cell comes 60. Why? Because this 60 I have written equal to I4, equal to I4 60, and then just I have made it copy and paste. So everything just copies the value adjacent to this one just above it. So here equal to I4, this will become I equal to I5 similarly. Okay, so in this formula, instead of writing greater than 60 over here, we can write something like this. Just need to replace the 60 with some cell value. Okay, so if E5 is greater than, instead of 60 we write here E5 is greater than I5, then that means if 31 is greater than 60, like in the previous case, it should represent the name of the student, or else it should represent empty. Let's see what happens. Okay, fine. Now we'll just copy the formula and paste it for the entire range. Let's see the same values we are obtaining. Now the teacher has done a wonderful job. Now he can obtain the names of the students in this column just by putting any value over here. So here then greater than, like this one 60, I will write here greater than I4, the value in I4, right? I4, the value is greater than the value in the I4. Suppose the teacher wants to know how many students have obtained greater than 80 marks. Let's write 80. Just two names are appearing, Maria Kumari, Adela Stevens, right? Teacher wants to know how many students have obtained greater than 90 marks. Let's see. Sorry, it comes here. How many students have greater than 9 marks? All the students. How many students have obtained greater than 90 marks? Just one, Adela Stevens. So here we have seen how to use the if formula and learned how to use the if formula. Here we have learned that using the if formula we can obtain the names of those students who have obtained more than some value of marks in this subject. Next, let us go to the AND OR function. So before going up to AND OR function, let us define it. Define our function. Sorry. Let us now go to AND OR function. Before learning AND OR function, let us define a problem. The teacher wants to know the name of the students who have obtained greater than 75 marks in all the 3 subjects. Fine? Very right. Okay. So here greater than 75 in history, right? We'll write here history. So greater than I5 in history. Sorry, I4 in history. These are the names. Now, as the teacher wants to know all the greater than 75 in all 3 subjects, we'll just copy the formula over here. Let's see what happens. Now this one is for history. Let us make it for geography. And then mathematics. Well, friends, the formula in this cell is right. What about the formula in this cell? Because we have copied it, let us see what is the formula in this column. This one is equal to L5. This one is right, fine, very nice. But what is the formula in this cell? Equal to if H5 is greater than L5. So far the L5 is all right, because this value will compare with the value in this F, right? So when we have copied it, the formula has also gone this side. We need to edit the formula. The formula will be something like this. Just so equal to if the marks obtained by a student in geography subject, that is this one, is greater than this one, then represent the name of the student or else write it blank. Fine. Now just copy paste it. Control C and then Control V. Fine. Alright. Again here also we need to change the formula. What will be the formula? Equal to if the marks obtained by the student, this one 86, is greater than the 75, then display the name of the student or else write here empty. Fine. So just copy and paste it over the entire. So basically what we have obtained, the greater than 75 marks in history, geography and mathematics, and this displays the names of the students you have obtained greater than marks as displayed in the yellow cells. The teacher wants to know how many students have obtained marks greater than 75 in all subjects. So here we will be having the formula AND equal to AND function. Fine. But before using the AND is like the logical operator. Fine. So where the logic. What is the logic? Let's see. The logic is that if the student has obtained greater than 75 in history and greater than 75 in geography and greater than 75 in mathematics, the name should be displayed in this column. So let us say if the logic is true, it should display the name. What is the logic? Logic is all these should be the marks obtained by students in all three subjects should be greater than 75. That means the name displayed in this cell and the name displayed in this cell, then the name displayed in this cell. All three should be not empty. So that means if and this is not empty, this is not empty, and this is not empty, then write here 1 or else write 0. When the logic is true, that means when the logic is true, that is when this displays 1, it should represent the name of the student. Equal to if this value equal to 1, fine, then display the name of the student or else write here empty. So as you can see friends, none of the students have obtained marks greater than 75 in all the subjects. Okay, fine. So none of the students have obtained marks greater than 75 in all the subjects. Now the teacher wants to relax the criteria so that he can obtain some names. Let us say he has reduced the criteria to 60 marks in all the three subjects. Fine. Still, none student has obtained greater than 60 marks in all the subjects. Teacher still reduces the criteria to greater than 50, greater than 50, greater than 50 in all three subjects. Now finally teacher has obtained one name, Maximilian Henderson, who has obtained greater than 50 marks in all the three subjects. you can see greater than 50 in history, in geography, and then mathematics. There is still one. Just for our example, let us say the teacher reduces the criteria to greater than 40, and let us see how many names come up. Okay, so the two names come up where the students have obtained greater than 40 marks. Still, the teacher wants to know, relaxes the criteria greater than 30 marks in all the subjects. Fine. So as these many students have obtained greater than 30 marks in all three subjects. Maria Kumari, greater than 30. Tad Davish, greater than 30. Vikas Henderson, greater than 30. Maximilian Henderson, Henry Stevens, greater than 30 in all the three subjects. So here we have used the operator AND. That means the student has obtained greater than 30 marks in this subject as well as this subject and as well as this subject. So we have obtained one logic over here which says if AND this name is not empty, this name is not empty, and this name is not empty, then this should display 1 or else 0. And if this displays 1, then this should display the name of the student. Fine. So now let us come back and use the OR function. How we are going to use the OR function? The OR function is like, suppose the teacher wants to know how many a student has obtained greater than 90 marks in any one of the subject. Remember, in AND function we were using greater than 90 functions in all the subjects. In OR function, we will be saying which a student has obtained more than 90 marks in any one of the subject. So let us, as per our statement, greater than 90 marks in any one of the subject. How we are going to display? Basically, in any one of the subjects, always displays over here like this name, this name, this name. But we want to in one column. So instead of this logic AND, we'll simply write it here OR. This, let us see what it represents. Then we'll copy paste. Fine. So when we are using in any one, then we are using the OR, and if we are using in all, then we are using the AND. Let us say greater than 90 in any one, these four names pop up. Let us say greater than 60, then these many names come up. Fine. In other words, the other students have obtained less than 60 marks in all the subjects. Okay, so now we'll be moving to the next slide. The VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP function. Now we'll be using the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP function. Let us first go to the VLOOKUP function. Fine. Suppose the teacher wants to know the marks obtained by a particular student in a particular subject. We'll use the VLOOKUP function to find the values in this cell. It is represented by pink cell. The pink cell will represent the values. So VLOOKUP function is something like that. VLOOKUP, and then the first one will be the cell, and then the range, the column number, and 0. So let us write here the formula, and then we will see VLOOKUP. Marks obtained by which roll number? That will be the first cell, and then the range. The range will be from here to here. Fine, because this roll number is also coming this range. You can see this roll number should always in the first column. That means here I can't write like D4. If I write here D4, it will represent some error, which we will see. So C4, and then the next value shall be the column number. Fine, column number. Column number, like suppose here we want to know the marks of the student in the history, then the column number will be 1, 2, and this is the third column. We'll write here 3, and then comma 0, and then bracket close. Let us see what is the result coming. The result is coming nothing, like what, did not find value in VLOOKUP values. Why? Because this roll number is empty. Let us write here, say the roll number fourth one, Maria Kumari, who has obtained 83 marks over here, right? Let us see what comes. Fine, the 83 is coming over here. So suppose the teacher wants to know the marks of the Maria Kumari in the geography, right? So right here like history and geography. Oh, this number does not change, it is the same like 83. So what we are going to basically do so that this value changes with the subject, change subject. So here in the formula which we have seen, we look up I5, which we have written. The I5 is this roll number. The range we have already defined, and this is the third column, like first, second, third. So it will always represent the marks obtained by a student in history. How we are going to change it, this value? So let us make it random variable. So instead of 3, we will write here like something like K5. In the cell K5 will decide the values as per the subject, and then 0. So again it's representing nothing. Why? Because in this formula K5 is empty. That's why it's saying function VLOOKUP parameter 3 value is 0. It should be greater than or equal to 1, right? So K5 is this value which we have obtained the help, which we have renamed as helper cell. What we'll do basically, this value will represent equal to if, right, this equal to history. If this is written as history, fine. So this should be the third column. If again J5 is equal to geography, and this should be the fourth column, right? If again J5 equal to mathematics, then this should be the fifth column, fine, or else it should display 0. Let's see. So what we have basically done, just for so that this function functions properly, I made a helper cell and made this thing like here K5 as variable, and with this variable keeps changing as I write the name of the subject. So for geography, this value will take the fourth 4. Why? Because in geography is in the fourth column. If I write here mathematics, this will represent 5. So basically you can see the marks obtained by this roll number 4 in mathematics is 68, right? All right, let's display it with some lighter color. Okay, so if just so that to make it some nice display, we can do like this. We can make these two cells like with white. I have just changed the font color of these two cells to white, so that it's not visible only. Suppose I want to know the marks obtained by some roll number like 14 in mathematics. It's showing 32, which is right. Now the teacher wants to make another function where instead of roll number, he or she wants to input the name. Fine. So instead of this roll number, the name should be displayed like 14 roll number like Henry Stevens. Henry Stevens. Fine. So similarly, we are going to change our formula over here. What we are going to do, we'll change this formula over here also and over here as well. Let us see how we are going to this one. First we will change the formula in this. We look up I5. This one I5 is all right, fine. The range will change because this I5 should always be in the first column of the range. So the name should be in the first column. So we are going to change. Instead of C4 range, we will write here D4 range. This range, and then it will be K5 and 0. Fine. We'll need to make one more modification in this value K5. Why? Because our range has become this one. So the column for the corresponding to history has become the second column. The column corresponding to geography has become the third column, and the corresponding to mathematics it has come the fourth column. So simply we are going to write here for history 2, for geography 3, for mathematics 4. All right. See. So the marks obtained by Henry Stevens in the mathematics subject is 32. What is the number being displayed here? Let us see. The mathematics becomes the fourth column. First, second, third, fourth. If I write here geography, that becomes the third column. 1, first, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The range becomes this one. Right. So if I write the name to say Katekole and the marks in geography, Katekole, marks in geography is 36. Fine. If I change the name of the subject, is showing 27. So now we have learned here the VLOOKUP function. Okay. VLOOKUP function. Let us say instead of the data in this form, the data is in something like this form. The names are the rows, and these are the subjects: history, geography, mathematics. Like this, this one, this array is the transpose of this one. Fine. So basically, here the HLOOKUP function will also be in a similar fashion. So here HLOOKUP function cell range, instead of column number it shall be the row number. Only this change will be there. So I have made already this one, name subject. For the names corresponding to Brad Davis, the subject history, the marks obtained will be 78. What we have written is HLOOKUP, this A5, and then range is like I4 to this one, Y7, and then AC5 is this thing. For history it will be the 2, for geography it will be 3, and for mathematics it will be 4. So what is the marks obtained by Brad Davis in history? Brad Davis in history 78. Geography marks 95. Brad Davis geography 95. If we change the name of the student, Vikash, and Henderson, right? Vikas Henderson. Let us see. Geography, Vikas Henderson is 49 marks. Fine, 49. So basically we have seen how to use the HLOOKUP function. If the array is in this form, so we can use the HLOOKUP function. Now we'll move to the next slide and see what is there next. Okay, so now we are having a project where a company decides to give its employee an incentive based on sales made by them. So the rules the company has decided. So I will again take the help of another sheet to generate the names. So these are the random names of the employee, let us say. Fine. And these are the annual sales figure. First I'll write the region and then the annual sales, and then this will be the incentive. Fine. So I will just put the random regions over here, like say it is the north region, and for the north, and then east for the east, and E for the east, W for the west, south, okay. So I've defined the regions of this employee, and then I'll also define some random annual sales. Let us say I've defined the using the random function rand between I have taken the more than 1 lakh and then less than 1 lakh also. So we should put some values like less than 1 lakh as well and greater than 1 lakh as well. Let us put the values between like something like 10,000 to say like 10 lakh rupees. The value is between 10,000 to 10 lakh rupees. Just paste it. Now I will just fix it. So paste special and paste values. Okay. So I have generated some random cells for the employee, and now we will use the rule to find the incentive. So what is the rule? Let us say rule 1 and then rule 2 and fine. So this one, rule 1, this shall represent 1 if the rule 1 is true, and this shall represent 1 if the rule 2 is true, and if both these two are true, then this shall represent 1. So if the rule 1 is true, this shall represent 1. If the rule 2 is true, this shall represent 1. If both these rules are true, this shall represent 1. Fine. And here will be the incentive. Okay. So the rule 1 is an employee in east and north regions. Similarly, an employee in east and north regions. So we can see in east and north, rule 1, and annual sales more than 1 lakh rupees, right? So right here, if equal to if or fine or y, this is equal to north, fine, or this equal to east, again C, and imply in east and north regions. So if this equals to north or this equals to east, if or if 32 equal to n, comma, if 32 equal to e, let us write it as 1 or else write here 0, fine. So we have made one rule, rule 1, east and for east and north regions. So rule 1 is for region rule. Let us just copy paste it, paste, fine. What is the rule 2? Annual sales greater than 1 lakh and annual sales less than 1 lakh, fine, equal to if this value is greater than 1 lakh, write here 1 or else write here 0, fine. Okay, so we have made another rule, just made copy and paste it, and this is for the rule 2 is for annual sales greater than 1 lakh. So if the annual sales is greater than 1 lakh, this is representing 1. If the annual sales is less than 1 lakh, this is representing 0. Similarly, in the region here, what I have made, if the regions are like north and east, region north and east, then this is representing 1 or else it's representing 0. So what is that rule? If this rule will be true and this rule will be true, so what we should be getting? And it's simply the multiplication of these two. Fine. So as we can see, if both these rules are true, an employee in east and west with annual sales of more than shall get an incentive of 2.5%. So if both these rules are true, just write it like multiply it 2.5% equal to, if this equals to 1, so the value will be this into multiplied by 2.5%, 0.025, that is 2.5%, fine. So we have made the formula for rule 1. What is the rule 2? In imply in west and south regions with annual sales more than 1 lakh. See, this rule is true, but this rule should be false, right? Right here, if and this equals 0, but and this equals to 1, right? So the value will be this multiplied by 0.015, fine. So we have made formula for the second rule as well. Let us make the formula for the third rule. If in imply in east and north regions, region north and east, rule 1 should be true. If this equals 1, right? And this equals to 1, but the annual sales should be less than 1 lakh rupees. But this rule should be false, equals to 0, right? Then the incentive shall be this multiplied by 0.005, right? For 0.5%. Now the last comes if and imply in west and south region. That means this should be false and less than 1 lakh. That means this should also be false. If and this equals 0 and this equals 0, right? Then that will be this multiplied by 0.002, and then let us close it. Let us see what. Okay, so the incentive for this person comes here like 19,229 rupees. We'll simply copy and paste the formulas and we'll get the values. Just make it a little bit clear to watch. Fine. And so now what we can do, once we have obtained these values, we can like just these were our helper columns. We can just make the font color to white so that these are not visible only. So and we can hide these columns as well by like this one. So we can see here. So now you can verify also that as per these rules, these figures will be correct. Let us say for particular any example like say Maria Johnson, East region 18,539, and imply in East and North regions with annual sales of less than rupees 1 lakh. She will lie in this third rule, shall get an incentive of 0.5%, right? Let's see if it is right or not, equals to this multiplied by 0.005. It's coming 92.695, so approximately 93 is correct. Now go for this one, Brad Davis, 3,98,452. So and he is in the East region and imply in East and North regions with annual sales of more than 1 lakh. Shall get incentive of, he will lie in this rule 1. So let us check, equal to this one multiplied by 0.025, right? Let us see, 9,961. This is also all right, correct. So if we take these values, 5,01,004 in, so this will Amber Davis, he is in southern region, west and south regions, rule 4 of less than 1 lakh, but he is having more than 1 lakh, right? So he'll be in rule 3, no, rule 2, and imply in west and south regions with annual sales of more than 1 lakh. More than 1 lakh shall get an incentive of 1.5%. Let us see, let us check, equals to this multiplied by 0.015. Let us see. So it is also coming the same value, 7,521. So we have seen here just by using this if conditional formulas, these formulas, how we have obtained the correct values. You see once more for our better understanding. What basically we have done, we have made two rules for east and northern region, was east and north and west and south. If the rule 1, that is north and east, for north and east we have written if that is true, write 1 or else write 0. Whereas for rule 2 we have written if the sales is more than 1 lakh, write here 1 or else write 0, right? And then we have combined it, and is like when both the conditions are true, which is only for the first row, and both the conditions are true, or else we have to make separate rules like this rule is true and this is false, then this rule is false and this rule is true, and then both the rules are false, and then the and is for like both the rules are true. We have got this. So we have seen here how to develop a spreadsheet using a predefined rule or a predefined formula. Let us move to our slide. Now we'll see next how to develop a grading spreadsheet. Grading spreadsheet. Okay, so teacher has a mark sheet of students. He wants to award equivalent grades of a particular subject. Develop a grading spreadsheet. So going to the top, let us see. So let us say this was the marks of the students, and the teacher wants to develop the grading spreadsheet corresponding to a particular subject. So the grades shall be awarded in one subject at a time. So let us consider one subject, say history. So I will delete these two subjects over here. Fine. And then I will also delete this one because we have already seen how to, and then the whole thing I am deleting here. Okay, so these are the names of the students and this is the subject and these are the marks. For ease of our understanding, what I am doing, I am populating more number of students, right? I'll be populating more number of students so that we can have a better range of data. So for that, I will have some more names from here. So we are having approximately 50 names. Fine. So we are having over here 50 students with roll number 1 to 50, and these are the marks obtained by the students in the subject history. And of course, these are we have to populate the mark sheet. So let us say I'm populating here rand between let us say I'm populating here the marks between say 0 to 100, right? I'm copying pasting it over here. Fine. And to make it the fixed values, I will just copy and paste special paste values. So now these are the marks obtained by the students, which are fixed marks for our understanding of the subject. So first the teacher will decide which grade he has to award based on the range of marks. So let us say he decides something range, right? Range from, then to, and then the grades. Suppose we are moving from top to bottom. Suppose we have to input some values and the grades shall be awarded, and grades will be written over here. So here the grades will appear. How we are going to do that? Basically, let us say here I'm writing here from just for let us develop something, then we'll develop into variables. We'll put some values over here. Let us say 80 to 100. The grades are like named A. Fine. And now as soon as write the from 80 to 100, that means this will be the next grade will be from something to like 79, right? So the next grades like 55 to 79. Fine. So again the next grade, let us say, comes like something like 35, and then something like 21, something like 11, something like 0, A, B, C, D, then let us say P, and then let us say something like X grade. X is for like failures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A, B, C, D, P, X. And the equivalent marks of equivalent for calculation of CGPA, equivalent points. Let us say it will be like for A 10, for B it will be like 9, for C it will be like 8, for D it will be like 7, for P it will be like 6, right? Let's make some more. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, then here 5, and this one is like say 0. Fine. So this is a 7 point grading system: A, B, C, D, E, F, X, and then 0. Many these grades can be decided by the universities, what they name it. Like some universities may grade it like O, then this one A, B, C, D. So this is only an indication. Okay, fine. So how we are going to calculate the values? So basically the variables are here, right? 80, then 79, then 80, 50. These are the variables. These are the main variables. And then I will make it yellow, so that just to know these are the variables. Why? Because 100 will be fixed, because if the maximum marks is 100, it should be fixed. And if the lowest marks is 0, it should be fixed. And all these are the variables, and these values are decided by this value, because when I am deciding a range from 80 to 100, the next range will start from 79 only. Less than 80 it's 79. To then I have decided this range 55. Then the next range will start from 54 to 35. Basically, this is just an indication, and this will be represented by grades, and then we'll develop a histogram. Okay. So what I am going to write here. So this one will be the equals to, let us say this one 80, right? And then this will be equal to 55, right? This one will be equal to this thing 35. This one equals to 21. This one equals to 11. This one equals to 5. This one equals to this thing 0. So basically we are having here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So just write it here so that we can make comparisons using if formula and write the grades. So what will be the formula? So just I have written these ranges, and I have written these ranges in this row. Why? So that I can compare the marks obtained by this student using the values in this row. So equals to, let us write the logic. If, right, the marks obtained by a student is greater than this marks. All right, that should represent some grade, which is A. All right. However, if marks obtained by C2 this student, that again C2 is greater than 55, then this will represent this grade B. Again I'm writing if see this is greater than 35, fine, so this will represent C. If this is greater than 21, so this will represent this grade, right? If the marks obtained by this student 91 is greater than, again what is the formula here, H2 then I2, then this should represent E. If the marks obtained by a student is greater than this one, then write here this F, or else write here X, and then just close, and then you can see the marks obtained by Aston Warren, the grade coming A as per our range A. But wait, I don't think this is the best formula, because when you are going to copy it to the next, and then this also you need to copy it, fine. See, so basically here what I have done, if this thing, right, C2 is greater than E2 and P4, this thing will keep on changing with this. If I again copied it here, it becomes P5. So basically to fix the cells, we have to write here $sign, and like $P, $4. Similarly here, I will write here $P, $5, right? $P, and this one. So it's P4, P5, P6, P7 here. Sorry, here also it will be P8. This is not necessary. Over here, P8 and then P9. And P10. So this will make our formula complete. Control C, just copy it and paste it over the entire range. Fine. And now these are the just helper columns. So just you can hide it like this. So now just see what are the grades obtained by these students. So you will find that whatever you have made this thing, the coming whether it's coming or not, you can check, like marks 37 shall be in this range, 35 to 54 is C, all right, C. So now basically many places it's they check whether the mean of the class in this equivalent point is coming in the middle range or not. So again, just to calculate the equivalent points, equivalent value, so you can write the again equals to if, right? If the same formula you can use, instead of just write this formula, Control C, same formula over here. You can check it, like if C2, then it's like P, instead of P4 it will be Q4, equivalent points. Just change P to Q. Alright, so it becomes Q4, Q5, Q6, Q7, Q8, Q9 and Q10. So it will serve the purpose. So equivalent point we are getting it like 10. Now just copy and paste it. Fine. And so what is the mean we are getting? Let us check over here. The mean is equals to average. Alright, average of these values. This is mean is 7.46. Alright, and now let us plot the histogram. So after we have obtained the grades and the equivalent of this one. So now the teacher may want to check whether he has given the grades are fitting the histogram curve or not. So we'll have a histogram. We'll plot a histogram curve also. For that we need to count how many A grades are there, how many B grades are there, how many C grades are there, and so all the counting needs to be done. For the count function we are having equals to count if, right? Count if, and then just see the whole things, like your range, select the range, right? And then if it's like count if this is 10, what is the criteria? Equals to 10. What is coming? 11, right? So this is the L2 to L51. Just make it fix. We can make it fix by introducing the dollar signs. Similarly, we'll just copy the formula and paste over here. But the thing is that now the range here, see, we have chosen L2 to L51, but here the equivalence points are 9. So we have to count the points corresponding to grade B, that is 0.9. Similarly, here we'll count the point corresponding to 8, right? Here we'll write corresponding to 7, right? Here we'll write the point corresponding to 6, and here we'll write corresponding to 5, and here we'll write corresponding to 0. In other words, we can also write, instead of this 10, like here again, this dollar sign Q, dollar signs Q4. So we can also write here Q4. All right. Again here I can write here Q5, because this is the number, and then again I can write here like Q6, Q7, Q8, Q9, Q10. All right. So what will the cumulative points? Just add it, equals to this one into count. Just add it. And then the mean will be equals to sum of these two, sum of all, divided by number of students, right? The number of students is like 50, so we'll write here 50, or still if we need to define it with some variable, we can write here like number of students here in 12, or maybe over here, and then speak it where this one is the number of students. Number of students is 50, so now the mean is 7.46. So now if we are going to plot the histogram, how will be the histogram? Just select these two data and then insert chart, right? And then we can see the chart. Just change the chart type to one. What is this thing, red and blue? Let us see. Basically the x-axis should be this one, Q4 to Q10, and the y-axis should be this one. So here in x-axis, right here Q4 to Q10, right? And in the y-axis, just remove this one. So now this is the histogram. So what we are seeing here, the teacher may wants to check that is this coming a fitting curve for as should be expected of mark sheet of students. Well, I don't think so. It should be something like so the teacher can make some changes in this one. So it will be like something like, you know, 90, and then you can give something like 70. Okay, still is not right. 80, then like 75, and then 65, and 55, and then 45. It's very low, so just say 35. Still it's 25. Here is the count is being displayed. 15. Okay, this looks quite some respectable figure. To 64, then like 78, then like 89, and then 98. So based on inputting this data, the teacher then decide grade ranges and this value mean also. Sorry, this one is the value which is coming in the formula. These are the yellow are the inputs, and the teacher can use this as references and the mean value to decide the ranges, these ranges, and correspondingly your grades have been awarded to the students, and the remaining everything can be hidden by making it like this, and this will be the corresponding histogram graph. This can be copied into other sheet also for better viewing. So that's it for today, and then of course thank you.